I'm not doing it for my health. I'm doing it just to show that it can be done. Hey, Marcus. I'm also walking it in sandals. We'll see what happens. Did you die? I've seen so many people that say that you can't breathe or do any activities with a mask on. The most annoying part of this is not even the mask, it's the fact that my glasses fog up. I'm gonna go ahead and try and walk. It might be a little bit glary unless you guys don't, I don't want to switch the camera around and people think I took my mask off. If you look, I have a bottle of a liter of, or 3/4 of a liter of orange flavored water, and I've got the vlog stick in my other hand, so yeah, you can see some palms as long as you guys trust that I'm wearing this. So the only thing I'm worried about is actually my battery dying. Let me flip this around. There we go. Hello. It's about 88 degrees out. Yeah, it's about 88. It's humid. It rained a little bit earlier. That's why I didn't do it earlier. Each one of these, like I'll show you guys, I'm going to do a full circle is a half a mile. So if I do 8 of them, that should be fine. Yeah, it actually did rain here, but it's hot again, which makes it's actually worse than before because the water is evaporating, so it feels like a sauna, like a wet sauna. Do I need a ride? No, I'm good. I'm sure you guys have better weather there in Ohio. It looks like that's where you are. Yeah. This thing consumes about 20% battery per hour. So I'm hoping that that's good. Ohio's doing a good job. Some pretty grim predictions for the second wave, so. I'm not close enough where I can walk to them. I guess I could walk to them. I just don't know how far I would have walked. That's my main concern. Yeah, luckily Sarasota County is actually doing really well so far, especially per capita. We have almost 3,000 cases here. I'm sure we will in a couple of days. So you can see some reason in the Cape they decided not to put culverts over some houses, so I had to want to walk through a puddle like that myself to get out here, so my feet are kind of wet. Yeah, it is. So Sarasota County has about like 400,000 people. Lee County has about 770,000. You guys have about 770 infections, and we have 2,860. So per capita, it's almost double the infection rate or case rate here, even though that doesn't really matter as much. More concerned is like hospitalizations. You guys can probably hear me breathing through the mask, so I'm just gonna switch hands. Yeah, well, if that's the case, it's not going to work out very well for a lot of people. I think that more people are going to, oh, I definitely prefer Venice over Cape Coral. Venice is such a nicer area. Cape Coral was not really meant to be built on. You can see, I mean, it's rained a lot here in the past few days, but there's just standing water for days. This is all swamp, 50 years ago, and they dredged it all out. There's no, like, Venice and Cape Coral are like comparing New York City and like Albany. So yeah, I still go to Venice. The reason I haven't done a live stream is actually I just got I couldn't find my old case to hold my phone, so I went ahead and I just couldn't hold my phone up. That, and I took a car last time that I didn't have my magnetic thing. I've been trying to find an alternative that doesn't like create all the sticky stuff in my windshield, which I have to get out with Kugon. It's definitely, I mean, someone can check the Cape Coral weather, but if you want to check the weather for zip code 33990, I can't check the weather at the moment. Yeah, it's not bad. I mean, it's mostly just the same house built a different way, about 40 different times. Which makes them appear a little different, but at least the ones built in the past 25 years or so. I don't think I've ever done a vlog where I've been wandering around the neighborhood during the day. Yeah, West Palm and Cape Coral have pretty similar climates. West Palm's a little bit milder, but... Hello. In the 2020 equinox, I'm sorry to hear that, Zach. Should have gone for the Highlander. Alright, the glare's a little bit rough. I may not see everyone's comments. There's a whole bracted foxtail seed. It started off with only 48% battery, so I'm just hoping that it'll last as long as I want it to. So Marcus, the way most of my customers find me is they through the Facebook page, through YouTube, a lot of times through just word of mouth. It's often, I get a message saying I saw a YouTube video. They actually help out a lot with that, and I think that sometimes I'll list things up on eBay. Sorry about the bumpiness. I'm wearing Keens, which are a little bit, they're not the same style as Crocs. They're a little bit higher end, more utilitarian, less stylish. I just moved a big shelf before I started this, so it is kind of now we were doing a little bit of door dashing here and there, but it's just not worth it because most restaurants here are not they're just letting people just do whatever they want, and I don't want to just go to 7 or 8 restaurants in the day and just expose myself to that, even if it is just for a few minutes, which I just don't want to do that. So most of the customers say to leave it at the door, but they end up just coming out anyway. Yeah, those were bottles that we just passed by. There's a whole area full of coconuts. I'll walk this side of the road. I used to do these walks every day without the mask. Yeah, I know Illinois is halfway through the pandemic, but Florida certainly is not. Just progressively getting worse. All right. Let me see if this will work. Nope. Sorry guys, just trying to show you guys I'm still wearing a mask. You can get mosquito bites at night. They don't really come out right now, it's just too hot, and if there's wind blowing or the sun's out, they'll come out. And not really here as much, but more in the country. Certain areas that are not as well, as densely populated. Sorry, it's a little bit harder to hear, and harder to hear, harder to see. Oh yeah, I know that came right up through the Midwest. We got hit hard with some lines of storms from them, definitely. I'm gonna move over here. Yeah, wait till you guys are in a landfall area on the coast of a Category 3 or higher. And also have a nicotine lozenge in my mouth, which is probably not helping this, but gonna check my steps here. Oh wow. Alright, I gotta spit this out. And I'm gonna have a drink of water. I'm sure that sound great on the vlog. Oh yeah, I still have plenty of seltzer. So I just gotta put my mask back on one-handed. All right. Oh man, that LaCroix, we call it the crotch. It isn't bubbly enough for me. I prefer polar bubbly. And there's a brand called Aha. Let me check my battery here. Okay. Dasani sparkling I used to drink. It's just that it's never really good enough of a deal. Sometimes they have it as buy one get one free at Publix, but I don't I just don't go into Publix. I haven't been into Publix since St. Patty's Day. That's what, 3 months? I haven't been inside Walmart in 3 months. I go into Sam's Club, the local farmers market in Venice, Walgreens. I know. I'm killing their theories every step. How's it going, Clyde? Matoni. No, I don't know what that is. Sounds good. The orange muffins. I don't know. You know, I found that Publix has a lot of good quality food, but their food is kind of bland for me. Like their muffins aren't as good as, say, even Sam's Club's. And their like their fried chicken's really good, but I think they do tend to cater to like a very basic Midwestern style, and it does get kind of boring. Yeah, the deli meats are fine. I get better deli meat at the Amish market in Venice, so. Yeah, you'd be surprised. I don't know how much you really are missing out because it is quite hot. When it's not hot, it's raining, and in order for me to go anywhere, I've got to step through the water to get to my car. Everyone probably thinks I'm, you know, look crazy with the mask. I mean, people do wear masks, just not outside here in the walks. Not enough. Yeah, I know that feeling. Usually like in October sometime that happens to us where it drops into the 50s and it's like, what is this? Dead frog. 60. I probably would have walked to your neighbor's house by now, Clyde, huh? Probably passed 50 houses on this walk so far. I smell some kind of Latin cooking going on. I'd say my neighborhood's probably like 30 to 40% Latino. Yeah, February, March, most ideal for as far as weather goes. I gotta look at the steps on that. Okay. So I've walked 1.5 miles, at least, if not closer to 2. So I've been walking at a brisker rate than what the average walk is, I guess you could say. Sorry, I'm trying to use my hat as a shade to be able to see what you guys are. Yeah. Well, that's why you guys don't have to worry as much about masks or contracting the virus, because you guys live far apart from one another. Imagine living in New York City, where I would have already walked past where, 60, 70,000 people live. Oh, I don't think you're spreading the disease. I think that if you lived in a more populated area and were going about the way a lot of people do, then, that would be spreading the disease. I know you don't live in a big town. You may not have a lot of cases, but, if you guys want to look at the new predictions that were put up just today, they're pretty grim. It's a more than 50% increase in the deaths, with 18,675 in Florida alone. It used to be like 6,200, so that's like a triple. Yeah, well, you're gonna get a snowstorm this winter, I'm sure. There's been about 21,000 cases recovered, which is about 20%. There's been 3,000 deaths, which is about 4%. Yeah, I understand the active cases. But eventually, I always want the active cases are still going up in the U.S. and in Florida too. So they're only going down, and like Michigan is doing really well. There's only like, out of their 50 something thousand cases, or 48,000, only like 12,000 active. Dillon, I probably have. In Cape Coral there's about 550 cases, so you do the math, it's like 1 in 200, or it's like 1 in 400, something like that, according to the population. And enough times I've been in the Sam's Club, like mathematically, Ashley's dad was in contact with, he works at a place where someone did contract it, so. I've only gone 4,000 steps. Huh. Yeah, Oregon's population is concentrated, you know, right in the middle valley. If you don't live in the urban areas. I'm gonna take this mask off because I think I've proved my point. It's not really changing anything. So, hey, just so I don't get wet, I'm gonna leave this mask on the back of the car. You guys see Ashley actually, oh wow. That's pretty crazy. Yeah, you can see this is actually her, looks very similar to my car, except for it doesn't have the V6 in it. So, yeah, and Georgia only has about half the population of Florida, so that'd be equivalent of Florida having about 112,000 cases, I should say. 4,000. Hey, Lena. Hey. Hey. I don't know. They went out for a walk earlier, but I guess, I don't know. I like to walk longer periods of time. Let me see what you guys written. So 891 cases. Where's here, Zach? Do you mean your county? It rains. It rains almost every evening. It already rained today. It depends on the day. Some days it'll rain twice. It rained twice yesterday. And what's it called? It didn't rain like, I mean, when I drive to Venice, it's pretty rare for me not to hit rain at some point, or at least pass a wet area. What's the dumbest thing you've heard? Oh, the police department thing. Well, I mean, the police department provides pretty essential services. I don't think that getting rid of it is going to do any good. I don't know if I have an answer for that. I haven't thought a lot about it. The thing is, they've kind of shown that it doesn't really spread very much outside. That interior spread is really like the most concerning, I guess you could say. Yeah, there's really no need. The only time I really wear a mask if I'm not indoors is if I'm like at a contact, like a Walmart pickup. I mean, those employees encounter a lot of people, and a lot of them that don't want to abide by, like, you know, policies. So all right, let's see if I can find another route that will bring us to more. I'm trying to think here. Which, wow, the power's really going down. All right. You know what? I'm gonna double back here and go down. I know which way I'm gonna go. I actually haven't gone out and done this in a while. Yeah, Tracheys are pretty good. Yeah, I'm wearing, I'll show you guys. These are the sandals I'm wearing. I mean, they're not cheap, but they last a long time. I bought these a year and a half ago, and I switch out between 3 pairs every day, so I can't. I mean, I'll wear shoes when I need to use them for like climbing something, but other than that, I mean, you can see how much rain we have gotten. Like, look at the ponding of water here. Yeah, I know. It's just the way I walk in sandals. I always have. I'm not very much of a ninja when it comes to, wearing these. They're wet. That doesn't help, They're also very thick sandals, like the small, the foot. They're not flip flops, really. They have contours and treads for comfort. Most sandals are just flat. They're terrible to walk in. Yeah, there's actually some nice Majesties here, some good ones. One here and then one right across from it. People that live here apparently are a nice elderly couple that have been here for about 30 years. And you can see that's in flower. You don't see that very often in Florida. I mean, it's not incredibly rare, but it's definitely uncommon. Yeah, Majesties are very underrated palms. I mean, they take a lot of water. It's a picture of a couple in New Orleans, and they have a high water mark on them just below the crown, but they were under that water for like 2 weeks. So I actually forgot that I can't cut through in this road. We're back where. Alright. I can feel myself starting to get blisters because they're wet. When they're dry, it's not nearly as bad. People don't really plant sable miners. They only plant them really at the beach as like a native thing because they get points for it. Okay. You can hear the water running off slowly. Well, I don't know if I call it garbage, man, because I mean that's one of the few palms you can grow up there. What altitude are you at? Yeah, well, I mean, you're not getting a lot of heat exactly. 60 degrees is something you just don't even see at night, even. It's pouring rain. How's it going? Yeah, well, Jubei, is genetically sequenced to grow faster. The worst part now is I can feel the blisters. Yeah, they actually have some really nice ones in California. It's a nice Jaguar F-Type. This house is for sale. How much? Let me ask you guys a question. How much do you think that house costs? It's 4-bedroom, 2 baths with a pool on a normal size lot here in Florida. What do you think they're asking for it? No, Marcus, I'm afraid not. They're actually asking $100,000 more than that. Yeah, 379. It is cheap. I don't know why they think they're going to get that kind of money, especially right now. But I mean, you can always talk them down. It's hard to talk someone up. I know. That would be like, that house would be like $850, $900 on Long Island. But you know, in Miami, that house is $550, $600. So people come here because they can buy a bigger house, or they can buy a normal size house and where they can't afford it in Miami. My mom was trying to call me. Give me a second, I just gotta respond. Okay. Yeah, South Tampa's a nice area. There's a nice garden in South Tampa. The director of the International Palm Society actually lives in South Tampa. Definitely getting a blister between my big toe and whatever you call your second toe. Sorry about the glare. These are the times of day. This is why I don't really drive up. Like, I don't head west in the evening and I don't head east in the morning, because there's just no hills to block the light. Lethal bronzing it's a big problem. That's not really addressed much, unfortunately, because people see it but they don't think much of it, because they're like, oh, that's just a palmetto dye. There's millions, there's tens of millions of them. I mean, they're kind of right, but it won't become a problem until it becomes a bigger problem, if that makes any sense. Yeah, I think that the zones in which people will push coconuts are just going to grow. I mean, the first 5 years that up until the freezes of 2010 and 11, I would see below 35 every year in Venice. One year there wasn't, it was like 42 was the lowest. It was actually pretty warm, but the past 10 years or so have been, this guy really likes fast cars. It's a cop, but he has a Jeep SR. I think it's an SRT. I think they're both. He has a Jeep behind this. It's not here. SRT Charger. He's got a Pontiac GTO. So, you know what? I actually need to walk a little bit more than I thought. So I'm going to cross through a field. The most disease-free palms are never seen any issues with. Stuff like rhapis, shamrops, I mean, they get a little bit, they don't really get bothered by very much. Camedurias, really the toughest palms. Washingtonia. Yeah, sorry, Zach, I'm not trying to ignore you. I just can't see. Oh, there are some coconuts in Newport Richey. I haven't been there since the winter of 2010, but I just kind of drove through. I've only really driven through Newport Richey once in my life. I'm trying to go to Spring Hill, but I took the Skyway 19 way, not the 75 way, which I find to be, this is back when 19 was had construction going, you know, all around it, so. Yeah, I saw that, Clyde. I checked out the, let's see here, 22%. Yeah, I don't know if a fliffer would do very good. I mean, no, cold-wise, yes, but like the maritime weather, I may not be a fan of. I'm gonna check my toe here. Yeah, it's extremely red. Dylan, are you getting The Last of Us Part 2, or is anyone else here getting that? It's hard to tell. I think they're still building it. Construction has still been going on here. So I don't see why they wouldn't build it unless they lost funding. It wouldn't be because of the virus. You can see here, this is a lower part. It's just some bacon and eggs. That's kind of fucking nasty. And looks like some more food. I thought about walking through this, but oh, something we haven't walked by because we haven't been on the side. But you guys see those owls there? Those are Athena cuniculata, the small burrowing owl. There's some. If you zoom in, I guess I can zoom in, but let's get a little. So the one, I think that's probably the father, and then there's the babies. There we go. Oh. Yeah, they're awesome. They sound like witches at night, cackling. They take care of any rodent issues that pop up around here, which is great for palms. And there's another, they have this, if they exist on a property, you can't build on it. So this property you can't build on. The other property is owned by someone from Europe, and they don't build on it, and they don't want to sell it. It's been that way for like 30 years. So. Yeah, it's hard to say. You know, you look at real estate, and it's almost like nothing has happened. And I think people just are unsure. They don't think people are living in houses and people aren't buying houses. So it's like kind of like a frozen situation. There's an Ohio plate right there. Yeah, I just don't know. And they might have some people that have already put deposits down and want to move into a place like that, but it's just weird because nothing else is residential around it. So you just kind of have this big condo complex within a bunch of commercial properties, which is normal for like a very urban area like Chicago, but it's not normal for Florida. Usually they have very separate planned zoning areas that are kind of very rigid. Sarasota County has one of the worst zoning setups ever because they zoned everything out around 1980 something, and it's almost impossible to build a nursery because there's so little zoning for a nursery setup, especially near the coast. The only places that have the zoning were nurseries that existed back then, so that's why it was very difficult for me to start a nursery in Venice. Yeah. Alright, so it says I've achieved 100% of my goal. So we're going to walk back to the house and say goodbye to you guys. Just taking, I'm not that out of breath, I'm just taking a big breath. It feels good. Actually, my hat's the thing that's keeping a lot of the heat in. And knock the mosquitoes off me. Or the no-see-ums, they're not real full-on mosquitoes. But alright, so we're back at the house. You can see there's identical Camrys and my mask is on the ground. Oh, and I just spilled water all over myself. I'm gonna try to not get my feet soaking wet, so I'm gonna walk across right here. Let's see if I can do it. I have not driven this thing in a week. The palms are doing well. I mean, they're I mean, you guys can see I haven't the grass is starting to grow back in here. It's kind of a pain because it's when it really rains, you can see the water actually goes above the sidewalk here. But the palm that I'm excited about the most is actually this Mauritia aculeata. It loves swampy water like that. You can see it has like 4 or 5 clumps now, and it's just pushing out new spears like once every 2 weeks. Yeah, the coconut's definitely pushing out of the funk it's in. It doesn't really like getting swamped, but... And then here, this is Adelaia speciosa. And the last leaf, I don't know if that was from just a mechanical issue, or if it was from too much water. These tend to like a lot of water. The new spear looks fine, so I'm not worried. And then some other random stuff like this. I swear I trimmed this hibiscus a month ago. It's like half its size and it's back. My Copernicia, there isn't really, I don't really have any. I actually sold most of them, so there's my Venezuelan Royal, there's a Corifa and Brachylifer there, which I don't know if it's ever going to get any bigger. There's a million queen seeds. And one of the ugliest lutescens you'll ever see. So anyway, guys, I'm like down to like 9%, not that. But thanks for watching, guys. Hopefully I proved to somebody that you can wear a mask and still breathe. And I will talk to you guys later. See ya.